You ever taken the political compass test? It's basically a test that was designed to try to measure people's political beliefs on a scale comparing libertarian versus authoritarian and right versus left. It's not perfect. I mean, some of the questions kind of make you feel locked in, but overall, though, I've kind of seen that the results that you get tend to be pretty good, pretty reflective. And as an exercise, because I wanted to test a theory, pun intended, I had the people on my Discord take this test and share their results. Let's have a look. So let's have a look here in the V-Radio Discord where I asked everybody to participate in this exercise. And you can see the results of the political compass test of the majority of the people who use my channel. The funny thing is that frequently, if you were ever to ask someone on the left, they would tell you that everybody on my channel is on the far right. But here's mine, left libertarian. This is pretty consistent with what has always come up every time I take this test. Here's Tam, one of my moderators, also left libertarian. Here's Arby, he's a right libertarian. Here's NL, also left libertarian. This is one of our newer viewers, a bit more on the left, but still left libertarian. This is Hoot, who's actually going to be one of my co-hosts. We're going to do a weekly show together, and we did a show together called the North Virginia Patriots, but he's a right libertarian, kind of Ron Paulish. And then here's Big Truck, again, like really close to the center, but again, a left libertarian. Here's Fields, another regular contributor, left libertarian. Here's Wandering Bro, another regular contributor, again, left libertarian. Here's Soon Mr. Wick. He's actually a very regular contributor to the Discord, and he's a right libertarian. He also helps me a lot with research for my shows and such. And then here's Loki, coming up almost dead center, but again, left libertarian. And, some of these was just them kind of goofing around with it, but, here's one of my few right authoritarians. I got Ice Magaforce in here, right? And then there's Tyler. He's my other, right authoritarian, but barely authoritarian. But the point is that if you ask the left, this is how the political compass works. This is how they want it to work, which is that you're either in this tiny little box or you're far right. This is how you end up with nonsense like Brett Weinstein, Joe Rogan, and Tulsi Gabbard all getting labeled far right, despite the fact that all three of them are advocates of Medicare for all, free college, maternity leave, etc. Joe Rogan was going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Tulsi Gabbard endorsed Bernie Sanders, wanted to be his VP. They're in fact, Tulsi's entire political thing is almost identical to his. She is revising some of her positions, but she hasn't reviewed revised anything so far as leftist positions on healthcare and such. She even advocates for UBI. But if you're not on board with, say, trans athletes in sports, you are catapulted all the way to the far right. And this is the reason why I call it a religion at this point. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not trying to be silly. But here's the difference. Let's say that you are a libertarian, meaning in the classical sense. Maybe you're part of the Libertarian Party or something. The Libertarian Party has anarchists and minarchists. Minarchists are small government. So you could be like a Rothbard anarchist, or you could be a Ron Paul style, minarchist, right? But they would all still identify themselves as libertarians. With the far left, you can't do this. If you deviate at all, you are immediately completely kicked out of the club, so to speak, just like religion. If you violate, basically, or even commit one sin, then you're in league with the devil. That's how they treat this. That's how, you could be told, well, you're not on the left. And I get told this all the time. You can't be on the left. You're not on the left. And it's like, okay, fine. So can you show me where in the political compass among far right is Medicare for all? Where in the political compass on the far right is free maternity leave, free college, social safety nets, pro-welfare, etc.? There is no such thing. The problem is that the far left literally wants the far left to essentially, wants the left period to center itself entirely on their social justice woke inquisition, and nothing else is important to them. And that's the reason why they're willing to do stupid things like alienate candidates who could probably get a whole bunch of good done for them in favor of, well, you didn't adhere to my religion. That's why, in a religion, for example, you could commit adultery and then you're outside of that religion at that point, even if every other aspect of your life follows every aspect of the religion. You're an honest person outside of that. You don't steal, you don't hurt people, whatever, and that's why it's a religion. That's why this quote unquote ideology is a religion. It's time for people just to stand up to this. Don't allow this to happen anymore. If you're a reasonable person on the left, do not allow them to tell you you're no longer on the left. Because that also brings up another thing that's kind of silly to me, is people who say, like Dave Rubin, for example, says he was pushed out of the left or whatever. It's like, okay, look, I don't agree with woke nonsense either. That doesn't suddenly magically mean that I give up on all of the other things that I believe in, because those things are not connected. I still believe in Medicare for all, but I'm also pro-gun rights, but that doesn't make me far right. And my belief about guns doesn't suddenly mean I have to change my beliefs about healthcare, and vice versa. The left is bigger than your little cult. Cope. Thanks for listening.